Hi everyone, welcome back to Mafia. If you're new here, make sure to like, make sure to subscribe. My name is Titi and I do work-related content. And I thought we'd talk about Mafia Nanny today by Violet Matter and Shu. I'm just going to give you like a quick little blurb. This is just the one you can find on Webtoon. Being an elite nanny is simple. Protect the charge, obey the principal, and don't get emotionally attached. Easier said than done when Davina's first client is a dangerously compelling Venetian underboss who's determined to get under her skin. What he wants from her, she can't imagine. But Gabriel Angelini drags her back into the glittering world of organized crime she thought she'd left behind forever. She might get answers about her past if she digs deep enough, but can she protect Mikey from his father's ambitions and keep her heart from getting tangled up in their treacherous web? So let's talk about Davina a little bit. As the blurb kind of alluded to, she does come from a very illustrious family. The blurb is very generous. She didn't know at the time that her parents were in organized crime. We do find out later that her parents were in organized crime. But yeah, so when she was younger, she just knew that okay, my parents are rich, we're affluent, and never wanted for anything. And then one day a fire breaks out and we know that this was intentional. She knows that this was intentional. It was an intentional hit and her parents were murdered. She's whisked away to an elite nanny academy by her nanny at the time, who then in present day becomes the headmistress of the academy. And one day she's given a job by Gabriel Angelini, who is actually part of the family of the people who wiped out her family. She takes the job. On one hand, it's because, hey, I care about kids, and we get the sense she cares about kids and she's actually very empathetic towards kids because of her own experience as a child. She definitely has a lot of empathy for children because of the fact that she lost her parents very, very young in a very, very traumatic sense. So she definitely has that angle. But also she wants to know what happened to her parents. She wants to know more about herself. She wants to know why they were targeted. Davina is also very super dedicated to her job. In the Elite Nanny Academy, they teach them a lot of things. So politics, fighting, cyber things. Her specialty is more cyber, hacking and stuff. And we get the sense that there were other people who are probably way more on paper more suited for the job to be the caretaker of Mikey Angelini because she's more suited toward cyber stuff. Next character we have is Gabriel. So he's way more mysterious. He actually has a deceased wife. He was married at one point. His wife got murdered. He also has a 4-year-old child named Mikey. He's the underboss in the Mafia, meaning that he's the number 2. He's literally right under the Don. The Don is his uncle. It goes his uncle, number 1 in charge, then him. We get the sense that he's not close to his uncle, actually. In fact, we see that he disagrees with his uncle's ways, and he is actually maybe scared of his uncle in a lot of ways. He doesn't trust the people in his house. And in fact, I would say, including the 2 reinforcements that he brings in with the names Val and Nico, we see that he trusts Adam, who's his driver. He trusts maybe the head cook of the house, and of course he trusts Davina. So there's 5 people in his house who he trusts. The next character we have is Mikey. So Mikey is the 4-year-old child of Gabriel Angelini. He's obviously hurting from the death of his mom, and he's very attached to his father. He wants to help him out in the family business. He has that very young child precociousness thing going on. As time goes on, he definitely warms up to Davina a little bit as she starts to gain his trust. Definitely gets into a better relationship as time goes on. So in this webtoon, and it's only been 25 episodes, for people who are non-fast pass like I am, there's been 2 kidnappings, 1 runaway attempt, 1 shootout, 1 hand-to-hand fist fight thing going on. There's been a fire, actually 2 fires if we count her fire. So there's been her fire and then the fire in the Angelini compound as well. So that's 2 fires. So it's a lot, but it goes very fast, but I don't mind the way that it's paced just because it's a lot of fun. I'll definitely say that if you read this as a binge, I think it will go very quickly in a good way. At its heart, I would say it's an action. There's maybe a sprinkle of murder mystery in there. There's also a romance. I would say it's an action romance. Actually, I think that's the way it's advertised. It's an action romance. There's some murder mystery. I will say though, the romance, put my hands up, I think it's slightly rushed. Where are we running to? Where are we running to? Where are we going? Why? This slow burn is not any slow burn. If you're coming in here thinking you're going to get a slow burn, it's not. In fact, the fire has burnt. The candle has burnt and snuffed out safe. There's no slow burn here, in my opinion. Because I'm thinking to myself, why have we already reached here? why have you already reached, like, why are we running? But anyway, other than that, like, I think it's interesting so far. So there are a couple of questions that have been like brought up in the story. So I'm gonna lay them out. Let me know if some of them are already answered and if we have any other questions. The first one is, who targeted her parents specifically? We know she was killed by the Angelini family, but who specifically? And how old was Gabriel like then? Like, that's also a question, because I have no sense of how old this guy is. Like he has a 4-year-old kid. Like, I don't know how old this man is. I'm sitting here like, you know, like, I don't know how old he is. I also want to know like why they were targeted, why her family was targeted. I want to know why she was picked as a nanny, because as I said earlier, there were probably some other nannies who were better on paper. I want to know, why was she picked specifically by Gabriel, and did he know about her before he picked her? I also want to know what happened to his dad, because like I said earlier, the structure is his uncle is the Don, and it was explained somewhere that his uncle's older brother had died. And I'm like, okay, if the uncle's older brother had died, if 2 plus 2 is 4, and Gabriel calls the Don by uncle, it means that maybe the older brother is like his father, right? So I just want to know, like, what happened to the dad? Like, was there anything nefarious, anything going on there? Like, what happened to his dad? Also, what happened to his wife? It was explained that in the papers or on record, his wife is missing, but that he knows that she was murdered. He has like her bloody like wedding ring, and what's in the story is that they're still looking for who murdered her. So I want to actually know, like, who targeted his wife, and is his wife actually dead, or is it one of those fake outs where it's like we don't see a body and then the wife will just waltz in a couple of episodes from now, and there's a little bit of conflict because romance has been brewing here, but like, that's his wife, that's the mother of his kids, you know? But I actually don't know. I don't know. Another thing I'd like to know is, how is his uncle spying on him? So like, I know there's like the tech stuff, but I also want to know in terms of like staff, like how deep does the network go, and what is his uncle's like game, like what's the deal with his uncle in like, I think that's one of the questions I have here. Like, what's the deal with his uncle? Why is he so villainous? Like, hello, like, yeah, mafia, but like, what's the deal with his uncle? What's the deal with his uncle and his relationship with like his nephew? What is Gabriel's goal for his son? My guess would be like, he would want his son to stay out of the family business. That's my thoughts. Like, I think he would want him to like not be part of this world, in my humble opinion, just because when Davina was asking, what do you want, like, what are your goals for him, he was like very hush hush hush. And I'd like to think that because of the way the family treats like people of the family who like try to abscond and try to run away, it's very much blood in, blood out. So he was very hush hush hush. He don't say any goals about his son, but I think he doesn't want his son to be part of the business. So how he hacks that, how he handles that one, it remains to be seen, because the only way his son is getting out of business is if the son is dead, unfortunately. Also, another question we have is, does Val know Davina? Because Val at one point was like, do I know you? Have you ever been to Venice? And I believe Davina did grow up in Venice. So I want to know, what's the connection and what is she going to do with that information? Like, is she going to put 2 and 2 together and be like, oh, this was the daughter in like one of the crime families of Venice, and is she going to tell her boss that? And does her boss already know? Does Gabriel already know? And another question I have is, who set the fire? We're up until episode 25. Who set the fire in the Angelini household, compound, etc.? But separate of those questions, I think what has been interesting has been the marketing of this webtoon and the promotion. The amount of ads I have seen, guys, it's been crazy. It's been back to back to back. You'll probably see some on the screen. And these are the ones that I started being like, okay, you know what? I'm going to start recording all of this. But there has been way more before I'd even started like screenshotting and screen recording. Y'all know webtoon promotion is so like contentious. Like, all these webtoon creators, it's very much, please sir, can I have some more, like Oliver Twist, please, just a crumb of promotion. So when I see webtoon pour into a creator and into a webtoon, I'm like, I'm like, interesting. I take a note of that. You know, webtoon every year has like what I've like coined as like a webtoon darling. These are the ones where you cannot escape them. I talked a little bit about them in my last video, just in terms of treatment of webtoon darlings, a little bit at the end, and I would love to do a video about this in general. But like, think Let's Play, think Boyfriends, Lore Olympus is like the webtoon darling. And this one, just because of the amount of promotion, I think it's shaping up to be one of, or if not the webtoon darling of 2024. Yeah, I don't know. I think I'm interested to see where it goes. I will be continuing to read this. I think it's an interesting time. It's fun enough. But yeah, let me know your thoughts. Let me know how you like it. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Bye.